We are now also live on YouTube.
Yes, we can wait a few minutes that people join. Eddig, ha jól látom, 3-an vagyunk. Nem, Zita Budai a harmadik.
Also live on YouTube.
Yes, we can wait a few minutes, but definitely we should. We have this so-called academic 5 minutes. This is important. We have to be patient for the clients. Zita, neked szerintem ki kéne jelentkezni, és valami mással bejelentkezni, nem?
Látjátok, hogy ki kéne?
Hát ezt a 3-at látom.
Szerintem a többi embert te se látod, ezt csak ők látják. Mert mi ott vagyok, már 2 látogató.
Aha. How much are we? Jó. De akár azt is megteheted, hogy bejelentkezel onnan. Terlo 3-ról.
Azt próbálom.
Nem úgy, csak hogyha ezekkel valamiért nem megy, már kellene mennie. De remélem nem mobifilm vagytok. Miért nem megy ez lefelé az előadás? I have a problem.
Anything I can support, Bella?
For some reason, the presentation does not work. I will now stop sharing my screen and start it again. Okay. It's maybe a few minutes more and then I will start and share again my screen. In the meantime, I can see now.
It works now, I think.
Okay, I restarted my presentation because it was frozen. But I think now you can see when I change the screen, and in a few minutes or a few seconds, I will start the presentation. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think it is time to start with the presentation of today about renewable energies in the framework program of the European Union. My name is Béla Cardon. I am the Chief Scientific Officer of the Regional Center for Information and Scientific Development in Hungary. We are one partner in the consortium of the theEnrich in Latin America project. Very first, a few sentences about us that you know who is presenting you. This is my Cato slide. I call it Cato slide because I present it always when I give a presentation, what our Ars Poetica about competitiveness is. It is a phrase what we can hear quite often from politicians or market specialists, and everybody agrees that competitive economy needs competitive enterprises, and we often hear about the demand of competitive labor force. But not often is the question raised, where is competitive labor force coming from in the 21st century, where GDP is mostly produced from services? And my answer on this question is that a very high ratio of competitive labor force is coming from competitive higher education, and there is no competitive higher education without competitive research and innovation. So now we can see how important research and innovation for a competitive economy is, and of course, research and innovation has to be international. About a company, we are a small enterprise founded by scientists and R&D managers. We participate in many international projects and deliver services to partners, mainly in Hungary, but of course also in the region. We give advice and consultancy and support national and international proposals, projects. We advise our partners in financial and administrative management. We have some own scientific research and innovation activity, and we have some own education and training activity. Our company was this year 10 years old. One reference about international cooperation, although we are only 10 people and only 10 years old, we participated in 9 FP7 projects and in 15 Horizon 2020 projects. We are in Horizon 2020 in the number of projects, the third most successful company in Hungary, not SME company. We have cooperation with 152 partners in 44 countries. These are not people I ever received a business card from. These are partners with whom we participated on the base of consortium agreements. About our project, the theEnrich Latin America, it is a project financed by Horizon 2020, the previous framework program. It has a predecessor, the so-called Sebravic project, running from 2017 to 2020. We created an theEnrich center in Brazil, and we would like to have this center to be financially sustainable. And this is one of the aims of this project, and to extend the activity of the center to whole Latin America. Our project promotes excellent business and innovation players to work together with Latin American partners, with Latin American partners and Latin American partners with Europeans to exploit ideas and to do common research and innovation activities. We deliver different services in the field of innovation and market research. We facilitate new partnerships between European and Latin American partners, and we try to position ourselves in Latin America, and we hope that we will be able to make this cooperation financially sustainable. So in the previous project, we started with Brazil. In the present project, we extended the project to Argentina, Chile, Colombia, and Uruguay in the first phase. And we hope that we can further extend this cooperation to other Latin American countries, for example, Mexico, Costa Rica, or Jamaica. Our focus areas and service activities, as I mentioned previously, community building and networking is very important for us, and for the aim of knowledge sharing, training, and capacity building in Europe to cooperate with Latin America, and in Latin America to cooperate with Europe. We have some thematic areas which we focus on. It is health, bioeconomy, renewable energy, ICT, and sustainable urbanization. Today, I will focus on renewable energy. Now, very shortly about the framework program of the European Union, which is already the 9th one. The name of the 9th framework program is Horizon Europe, and started this year and will run until the end of 27. Of course, run until 27 means that the last projects will announce, last calls will announce in 2027. Projects can run even till 2030. What is the vision of the EU with this framework program? You can see here some very nice phrases like tackling climate change and helping to achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. But I think these are very important goals of the framework program. But the most important of the framework program, most important part is to help the world's and EU's competitiveness and growth for mutual benefit, and to facilitate international cooperation in research and innovation. Of course, this means that we have to enhance the diffusion of excellent knowledge. We have to help at the end, as an outcome of the framework program, to create jobs and engage talents to work in research and innovation. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, this can be made only today, but it was true already 50 years ago in international cooperation. And we have to find a way how to cooperate with our international partners for a mutual benefit. This means that without the problem of brain drain, as I meant, we try to engage partners to cooperate with Europe. We engage partners, European partners, to cooperate with each other and with partners outside of Europe, as I mentioned again and again, for mutual benefit. Interesting for Latin American partners is which countries are eligible for funding. Of course, the European countries, the countries of the European Union are eligible for funding. Then the so-called low and middle income countries are eligible for funding. You can see them in red. If you look on this map, you can find some countries, let's say Armenia, where the income is lower, for example, than in Argentina. The question is, why are they not eligible for funding? They will be eligible for funding. They are not marked with red because there are more than a dozen countries where an association is in procedure. This means countries of the Caucasus, or Turkey, or Norway, or Great Britain, or the countries of the Western Balkan. These countries were associated to the previous framework program, and there are ongoing negotiations for association to this framework program, this means that these countries will be also automatically eligible. What happens with other countries? As an example, Switzerland has a funding agency who pay the part of the Swiss partner when they participate in the framework program. And I heard the same recent good news from Brazilian applicants. Furthermore, it's very important that if in a consortium, because these EU projects are run usually by big consortia. Big consortia means, I would say, if it's a €3 million project, it's very rare that we have less than 8 participants and less than 6 countries in it. How can be justified if you take on board a Brazilian partner or someone from Chile? Of course, if they pay their own part, there is no problem with it. But I have seen projects as a quite experienced evaluator, where, for example, there were organizations like UNESCO in the project or the Central European Initiative. These international organizations are neither eligible for funding, but if the proposed project convinces the evaluators that the partners have a very important role, and it is for European benefit that a partner from these countries, it can be from the States even, or from Singapore, or from South Korea, participate in a project, the evaluators may say, yes, the project should be financed, including those countries who do not receive automatically funding. And of course, there are some other cases if there is a dedicated call for European Brazilian or European Korean operation. So very important is you should just run for the fund and try to write a good proposal. And surely, if the proposal is excellent, the evaluators will advise the Commission to finance the whole project, including those countries which are not automatically eligible for funding. So Horizon Europe has 3 pillars. The first pillar is excellent science. It's mostly about basic research. The second pillar is about global challenges and European industrial competitiveness. This is, I would say, if I wanted to simplify it, more or less about applied science. And the third pillar is innovative Europe. And here we have some overarching parts like widening participation and strengthening a European research area. In the second pillar, we have different clusters like health, culture, creativity, inclusive society, civil security for society, digital industry, space, climate, energy, mobility, food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture, and environment. One of these clusters is climate, energy, and mobility. If I wanted to narrow down, coming to the topic of the presentation. So our topic is in Pillar 2, global challenges and European industrial competitiveness to boost key technologies. And this pillar has 6 parts. And one of these 6 destinations is climate, energy, and mobility. Cluster. Cluster 5 is climate, energy, and mobility with different destinations. And destination 3 is sustainable, secure, and competitive energy. I will today mostly speak about this part. So when we speak about renewable energy, what topics are covered? We have the different renewable energy sources like solar, wind, ocean, geothermal, bioenergy or biofuels, renewable fuels, and hydropower. We have some horizontal activities like integration in energy consuming sectors, sustainability, market uptake, and international cooperation. And we have some third type activities like prices, studies, etc. If we want to win with a proposal, we have to concentrate very much on the expected impact of the different goals, but there are overarching general priorities of these goals which have to be taken into account, and I listed them here. On the left side, you can see the expected impact of the strategic plan of the European Union, and on the right side you can see the destinations in the Cluster 5 work program. For example, if we take the first one, the transition to climate neutral and resilient society, etc., then the destination is climate sciences and responses for the climate neutrality. Or if I take the last one, the same seamless, smart, inclusive, resilient, climate neutral and sustainable mobility system, etc., then the destination in Cluster 5 program is the safe, resilient transport and smart mobility services for passengers. This time I will speak about the third destination, the sustainable, secure and competitive energy. And the expected impact here is more efficient, clean, sustainable, secure and competitive energy supplies through new solutions for smart grids and energy system based on more performant renewable energy solutions. There are other priorities which we have to take into account. These are the missions in Horizon Europe. I have to take care, we have been working in Horizon 2020 for more than 7 years, and I want to say always Horizon 2020 instead of Horizon Europe. So we have these missions in Horizon Europe, which are novelty in the new framework program, and this is a new way to bring concrete solutions into into some of the great challenges we have in the framework program and we face in Europe and in the world. We want to have impact through a new defined role of research and innovation, through the engagement of citizens and through new forms of governance and collaboration. In Horizon Europe, we have 5 missions. The first is the adaptation to climate change. Here, the goal is to support at least 150 European regions and communities to become climate resilient by 2030. The second is cancer. The first is quite close to our topic, the renewable energies and energy sources. So in a proposal which is in the field of renewable energies, you can always target the first mission, adaptation to climate change. Third mission is restore our oceans and waters. So it's about clean water. The fourth mission is climate neutral and smart cities. To have 100 of these by 2030. This is again a mission which can be targeted in a proposal for renewable energy sources. And the last mission is the Soil Deal for Europe, to have 100 living labs and lighthouses to lead the transition towards healthy soils by 2030. Again, another horizontal field which has to be taken in account, and when we form a proposal, these are the so-called strategic orientations. We have 4 strategic orientations. This is the first is mainly about digital enabling and emerging technologies. The second is about biodiversity and natural resources. The third is digitally enabled circular, climate neutral, sustainable economy. And the fourth is about democracy and inclusive society. Maybe I would highlight the third one. I think to underline in a proposal, digitalization and climate neutrality is always very, very helpful. And Again, another horizontal field. These horizontal fields give quite a lot of dimensions to the proposal. We have to take into account the Sustainable Development Goals, which was mentioned in a slide before, which is generally very important for the framework program. If you look on these Sustainable Development Goals, you can see that some of them are in very close connection with the destination renewable energies, for example, affordable and clean energy or climate action, sustainable cities and community cities. So, how can you find the framework program? How can you find the work program where all the goals are listed? The easiest is if you write in the Google Horizon Europe reference documents, then you can easily come to this picture, to this screen. So of course you have to choose Horizon 2020, or Horizon Europe, sorry, then the programming period, the recent programming period, then of course the work programs, the first period, 2021-22, there are no other periods. And the main work program, and then all the work programs are listed. That you can see number 8, the last on my picture, but there are more, is climate, energy, and mobility. How you can find the goal and how can you start a proposal submission? Again, you go now to the funding tender opportunities, you choose the programming period, you choose Horizon Europe, you choose the program part, the work package 8, what was work program 8, sorry, work program 8, what was mentioned before, and then you can here see the different goals. And if you tick on one of the goals, more information will come up. And if you log into the system, you can even start a submission. But I think it is maybe less important for you, the submission procedure, since the submission is in most of the cases coordinated by a European partner. So, if you look, the last one was demonstration of wave energy devices to increase experience in the real condition. Now I will speak about some special projects. I made some cherry picking about these projects, which can be targeted in this work program in destination renewable energy sources. So let's have a look on this. It's about demonstration of wave energy devices to increase experience in real sea condition. If we look on this proposal, the very first information is it is an innovation action. What does this mean? Innovation actions are financed by 70%. So it is not 100% financed by the European Union. If companies are running for such a, it can be small or big companies, for such a project, they can receive only 70% at the end of the eligible cost. However, non-for-profit entities can have 100% financing. This means that a university, public research institute, an association, or a foundation can have 100% funding in this project. If we look on the budget of this program part, we can see it's 50 millions. And if we look on the EU contribution for each project, then it's again 50 million. This means that there will be one project funded. And if it's about 50 millions, then they expect to have quite a big consortia. So although the general rules are that you need from 3 different eligible countries, 3 different eligible participants, in this case, I would say below 15 members, you have no chance to win. Then when you work on your proposal, you have always to look on the expected outcomes, expected incomes, and the scope. And what are the expected outcomes of this project? It's improved knowledge on how to operate wave energy devices. And the other ones, I will not list everything about low carbon and policies and the set plans. Very important is that you take in account what we have in the scope, that you have to demonstrate wave energy devices in real conditions for a long period of time. Is 12 to 24 months. This means the project will be surely quite a rather longer project, and you need the right participants for it. For example, for Hungary is not that interesting because we have no seaside. And of course, you have to utilize and verify key subsystems. You have to make tests to reduce risks. So this is a very special action, an innovation action financed with a very high budget, with a quite large consortium, and only one will be financed by the European Commission. Let's have a look at another one about sustainability and educational aspects for renewable energy and renewable fuel technologies. This is a coordination support action. This means that it's not about not that much about doing research. It's rather about coordinating the activities of the different players who work in this field, in research and innovation, and in this case in education, and bring the renewable energies closer to the citizens. If it is a coordination and support action, this means that it is financed by 100%, independent what kind of entity is participating. It can be a large industrial partner or a small enterprise. It can be a university or an association. Everybody receives 100% funding. If we look on the total budget, it's 10 million. The EU contribution per project is about 2.5 million. This means that the European Union expects to have 4 projects at the end financed. If we have 4 projects and let's say 40 countries in the European Union, 27 countries in the European Union, and let's say certain countries who will be associated to the framework program, then there are many countries, let's say maybe 60, the low and middle income countries, who are eligible for funding. Then this means that this consortia have to be also quite big. So don't believe, theoretically, for the coordinating and support action, one entity would be enough. But for such a call, again, I don't believe that you have a chance, a real chance, below a dozen of participants and below at least 10 countries. So, what are the expected outcomes of this call? It is about enhancing and promoting sustainability by addressing social and environmental aspects. If we have in such a project, such an action has to support the development of training and reskilling, and promotes circularity concepts and approaches. So you have to think about how can you support development of training? Do you go to schools, or you involve multipliers like associations or civil society actors? You can work with municipalities who are implementing such training, or who would be glad to implement such a training if somebody would support them. These are very good potentials for such a cooperation. What is the scope? You have to coordinate the stakeholder community, and you have to concentrate on actions to promote the goals of the call and the development of sustainable solutions. And you have to set up the right structure, how to implement this and initiate new structures if it's important. You have to concentrate on the multidisciplinary approach, for example, not only renewable energy but sustainability, and of course we have to involve the social sciences and humanities. and it would be good in such an action if you can run right industry academic program that is focused on hands-on trainings. Let's see the next one. It's about market uptake measures for renewable energy systems. It is again a coordinating and support action. This means that not research, but coordination of the different partners is in scope. The budgets foreseen for this project is 10 million. The EU contribution for each project is foreseen for not more than 2 billion. This most expected number of the projects will be 5. We have here, we can see the expected outcomes and the scope. What does it mean? Why do to coordinate support to help the market uptake? We have to help those who are developing, producing, and selling renewable energy systems. We have to involve the citizens, to make them from consumers to prosumers, to convince as much citizens as possibilities. This has several horizontal fields, I would say, because you have the producers, you have the consumers, you have the industry sector, the small and the big ones. You have the residential sector. This has many aspects. You can concentrate in some fields like photovoltaic, or you can do just general target this topic. The most important thing is you have to increase the social acceptance of renewable energy facilities and installations, and convince again the small and the big players to use it and to help in the market uptake of these devices. The next is research and innovation action. It's about novel tandem high-efficiency photovoltaic technology targeting low-cost production with earth-abundant materials. It's about the budget available for this project is 20 million, and the EU contribution for the projects will be 5 million. This means the expected number of projects will be 4. Research and innovation actions are 100% financed. This, I would say, the third big type of projects. The innovation actions financed by 70%, the coordination support actions financed by 100%, and the research and innovation actions financed by 100%. So this is not about coordination, but about real research and real innovation. And in expected outcomes, it is quite precisely described what is expected by the Commission, like the single junction of a Shockley Quasar limit, or increase the potential of tandem technologies, or minimize the impact of PV on landscape and the environment, or the development of a coherent PV value chain. We have here the 4 important scopes defined by the Commission, that we have novel concepts have to be developed. The materials of PV cells have to be optimized. We have to ensure those who propose such an action, the compliance with the relevant standards, perform the device model real life actions, and perform life cycle analysis. I wanted to come back to something what we have here on the slide again, that it is expected that the project reaches TRL5. What is this TRL5? This is the technology readiness level. Let's make a short break about the technology readiness levels, because you can, in some of the proposals, there are expectations towards these technology readiness levels. And I made a slide about the technology readiness levels. This is a method for estimating the maturity of technologies during the acquisition phase of a program. We have here number one is starting from very basic research, and technology readiness level 9 is the real application, the actual system proven in the operational environment. Technology readiness level 5, what we have here is that the technology is validated in a relevant environment. It means industrial environment in the case of key enabling technologies. So if you see that there's an expectation on TRL, you can take the slide or just write into Google TRL, and you will find these different technology readiness levels quite easily. Again, another example of an open call. These calls, as I remember, had the deadline in January. All of them. These are coordinating and sub-protection. EU contribution for each project is 1 billion, and the total budget is almost 10 million. It means the expected number of projects is around 10. It's about the support to the activities of the ETIPS and technology areas of the set plan. You can see here the different outcomes and the scope. Again, I don't want to read all of them, just maybe highlight some of them. For example, from the expected outcomes, that the project results expected to contribute to the consolidation of strong and sustainable networks in the strategic different technology areas covered through the strategic plan. This is some very important, and that this set plan, energy technology strategic plan, it shall be integrated in a roadmap, and different corporations are expected. I think if there will be 10 projects in this field, then whole Europe and a large part of the world will can be part of this action. So the next example is the next generation of renewable energy technologies. Here the deadline is later. It's the 23rd of February. It is easier to prepare a proposal to this deadline than to the 5th of February. We have much more time. Here it's about next generation of renewable energy technologies. You see that the TRL level is lower, is 3 to 4. The budget is 33 million. It's a research and innovation action. It means that these projects will receive 100% financing. The EU contribution for each project is 3 billion. It's quite a usual amount for such a research and innovation action, and there will be 11 projects. The most important outcome of these projects should be the European innovation base, a solid European innovation base based on this technologies that the European Commission is envisaging here as a breakthrough, and the change of renewable energy technologies to enable faster transition to the net emission and the net zero greenhouse gas emission for the EU economy by 2050. Research has to be done on this, and the European Union is financing these researches, and the proposals are expected to address high risk thematics, and if we speak about high risk inventions, then you can be really ambitious in such a proposal. The evaluators will look how ambitious a proposal is, and not only on the scientific excellence. Another example, it's a hybrid catalytic conversion of renewable energy to carbon neutral fuels. Again, the expected technology readiness level is 3 to 4. It is again a research and innovation action. This means you have 100% finance, 100% support from the European Commission. It is about research. The budget available is 10 million, and the EU contribution for a project is 1/3 of it, around 3.3 million euros. This means that 3 projects are expected to be financed in this field. The expected outcomes, we have here 3. To foster availability of synergetic catalytic systems for carbon neutral renewable fuels, to improve performance of carbon neutral renewable fuels and European competitiveness, and accelerate development of efficient carbon neutral renewable fuels. The European competitiveness, you can hear again and again and again. You have to concentrate on the first part of such an expected outcome, the improved performance of the carbon neutral and renewable fuel. The scope, you can see that the proposal have to develop hybrid catalytic conversion processes, combining different technologies and scientific fields, and work with different fuels of biological or non-biological origin, but not hydrogen. The next example is physics and aerodynamics of atmospheric flow of wind for power production. Here, the deadline is again the 23rd of February. The technology readiness level is 5. The type of action is research and innovation action. This means it's 100% finance. The available budget is 18 million euros. The EU contribution for a project is 6 million. This means the expected number of projects is 3. And once it is a 6 million project, it is expected that you will have a large consortium. It means 10, but rather 15 members, at least in such a consortium. It can be even above 20. So you have here a bunch of expected outcomes, which concentrate on the better predictions of wind patterns, to enhance system reliability and power production, to decrease economic uncertainties, to use open access of big data storage. I think big data, work on big data is very important in such fields, because you have the historical data, you have the scientific evidence, and there are some very interesting tools with what can be used if one wants to give some foresight for the energy production of such systems. The scope is what you can see here is very important. Again, at the very beginning, the development of an open access knowledge hub. I think the European Commission follows these ideas that once research is published, once research is financed for public sources, then the results should be published to the public openly. This means open access of the knowledge, the widespread of the results is expected in many fields of actions what are financed by the European Commission. Of course, you have to address and test such these tools you develop, etc. And I don't want to go through all these fields. I made as a physicist. I used to be a physicist. Some work in the field of renewable energies, but wind energy is not my field of specialty. So the next is, sorry, I cannot see the top of my slide because maybe a colleague of mine could help me. If I, how can I hide this? Just give me a minute to interesting. I cannot hide the top row, so I don't know if you see it. Okay, the next is about wind energy, natural and social environment. I can now come back to the big slide. It is a call with the deadline of the 23rd of February. It is a research and innovation action. The expected technology readiness level is 5. The budget of this action is 10 million. The EU contribution for the projects foreseen is 3 million. It means that 3 to 4 projects are expected. If we look on the question of social environment, then you have always to think on cooperation with the different players. So of course the expected outcome is the development and promotion of the use of modeling tools and to do this in a holistic way, but you have to concentrate also on the local communities and on the different environments. You have to look to concentrate on the citizens. You have to concentrate on the different communities who can use this, for example, tourism or fishing or fishermen. So you have to think about how to realize outreach activities to promote social awareness and engagement of wind energy, and in such cases the involvement of social science and the humanities is very advised, I would say. And you can see the last one of the expected outcomes, that you have to facilitate both the identification of future areas for deployment and the consenting, those are the consenting process. You can see on the right side again the scopes. You have to develop and promote the use of these validated models and guidelines. You have assessments through validated models is expected. You have to develop a forum where information can be exchanged, and you have to address how the impact of different wind energy innovation and applications will be taken up by the different players. So carbon negative sustainable biofuel production it's against another area. Research and innovation action, financed by 100%, technology readiness level 4 to 5, 50 million total budget. The EU contribution is to each project will be 5 million. It means that the expected number of projects is 3, and large consortia are expected. Again, above 10, but rather 15 to 20 partners in a consortium. The expected outcome is quite easy. You have to increase bioenergy efficiency and sustainability. You have to increase sustainable biomass resource utilization, and you have to generate negative emissions from biofuel production. And a proposal should develop a cost-effective solutions to minimize carbon waste and include different innovative approaches. You have to be very careful when you work with bioenergy. You have to always take it into account that the bio-based economy, there are different levels what have to be satisfied and what have to be taken into account. The question is always, what are we doing with our biomass? The very, very first important thing is we have to secure food. And the second level is we have to secure feed for our animals. The third level is we have is material, the use of biomass for different materials, and only the fourth level is the burning of biomass. Next example is about Innovation Foundation floating substructures and connection systems for floating PV and oceans energy devices. This is a research and innovation action. It means that this project will be financed only by 70%. The technology readiness level expected is 4 to 5. The deadline is the 23rd of February. The budget is 10 million. The EU contribution per project is 3.5 million. It means that the number of finance projects will be around 3. Just make a short break with this EU contribution by project. This is just an orientation. Some proposal writers said in this case 3.499999 millions, and they are then just below 3.5 million. Believe me, it's 3,501,000. This will not hurt the evaluators, and it can be financed. It is only an orientation for you that it's not 300,000, not 1 million, it's around 3 million or above, but definitely not 4, 5, or 6 million. So this is a research and innovation action. It's more innovation oriented. So the expected outcomes are more innovation oriented again. And here, for example, you have to improve over a lifetime reliability and stability, operability, and maintainability of marine substructures, or the better understanding of the device's real life performance, or the contribution to the objective of the mission as the oceans, seas, coastal, and inland waters. This is you see this was the mission, maybe mission 3. I mentioned it before. What is the scope? You have to test and validate the potential benefits. You have to test and validate new prototypes. You have to do research on material properties and behavioral in combination with the use of improved and predictive computational modeling tools. This is very innovative. And of course, you have to do research, develop, and validate improved prediction computational modeling tools for material properties. Again, I will ask a colleague. I will have a look how many slides. I still have not that much. Okay, it's not that comfortable that I have to change the view each time to see the title of the call, because I don't know all of them. So the next is development hydropower equipment for hidden hydropower. This is a research and innovation action. Technology level 5 is readiness level 5 is expected. The deadline is the 23rd of February. Budget 10 million. EU contribution for each project 3 to 5 million. This is interesting because here can be 2 or 3 winners. It depends on how much what the budget of the projects will be. Research and innovation action. This means that the support of such project of the project's finance will be about 10 billion. I'm slowly running out of time, so I will not go in detail to the expected outcomes on the scopes. So will receive my slides and can go through them. Just let's jump to the next one. This is the demonstration of pilot lines for alternative and innovative PV technologies. And here the deadline is again the 23rd of February. The expected technology readiness level is 7. It is an innovation action. This means the finance is only 70%. The budget is 45 million. And the EU contribution by projects is 50 million. This means that 3 large projects will be financed here with a lot of participants. If you are interested, please go to the expected outcomes and the scopes when you receive the slides from the consortium. The next is about innovative biomethane production as energy carrier and fuel. Here, it is again with the deadline of the 23rd February. It's an innovation action, very, very application oriented because the technology readiness level expected is 6 to 7. Here the total budget is 20 million and the expected number of projects is 2. Means again 2 large consortia are expected in this field. Again, we have here the demonstration of cost-effective advanced biofuel technologies utilizing existing industrial plants. This is again an innovation action. Again, technology level 6 to 7. Again, 20 million financing, 2 large consortia, but the deadline is the 26th of April. So it's quite a lot of time to prepare this proposal. It on the portal it was just opened. We have again an innovation action, advanced manufacturing of integrated PV. Here the technology readiness level is 7, very much application oriented. A budget 32 million. 2 large projects are expected with 16 millions with a deadline of the 26th of April. And then we have quite big one here. I'm almost at the end of my presentations. It's about this goal about geothermal reservoirs is a really application-oriented large project with 20 million funding. This means a large consortium with a quite large budget of 20 million euros. Only one winner will be here with the deadline of the 20th of April. Then we have the demonstration of innovative plug-and-play solutions for system management and renewable storage of grid applications. It is very application-oriented because since you can see that the technology readiness level is 8, and there will be one project financed by the European Commission with a budget of 10 million euros. And the deadline is the 26th of April. We have the novel agro-photovoltaic systems. Again, with the deadline of 26th of April, the technology readiness level is 7. 2 projects will be financed with 5 million euros. And my last slide is about energy system modeling and optimization and planning tools. There's an innovation action. 1 project will be financed by 6 million euros. This is again a quite big consortia. The deadline is the 26th of April. Should you have any questions, please, you can ask us, or you can ask us. It means the consortium, the Enrich and Enlarge consortium. We are ready to help you. This was my last slide. Thank you very much for your attention. Here at the very end, you can see a consortium of 6 partners. The National Association of Research and Development and Innovative Companies, ANPEI, DLR, the Project Management Agency of the German Aerospace Center, FFG, the Austrian Research Promotion Agency, Fraunhofer IPK, Fraunhofer Institute for Productive Systems and Design Technology, us, SAS, the Regional Center for Innovation and Scientific Development in Hungary, and SPI, the Portuguese Innovative Society. Thank you very much for your attention.
If there are questions, I think we can take now. And then...
Sorry?
Maybe this was a bit dense. I'll try to narrow down, but it was not that easy. But should you have any question, you can just think about, write me an email, or write it to the Latin American partners. We are ready to help you if we can.
I think we can finish the live stream and the webinar if you are.
Okay, if there are no questions, then thank you for your attention. I see that the participants are slowly leaving. Thank you for those who are nice and said thank you. You are always welcome. And this was the webinar for today. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.